Libya's new leaders have named a cabinet and vowed to step down after the country is fully secured. Today's announcement comes after weeks of political infighting stalled efforts to form a new government. The head of the National Transitional Council and the de facto prime minister say they'll stay in their posts until Muammar Gaddafi's hometown is captured. Memories of who we lost, innocence lost, worn like a badge of honor. We view the world and ourselves in a different light. We will remember because we cannot forget. And I'm Pam Saulsby. This statewide coverage is a joint effort between WRAL-TV and UNC-TV. How do you feel about expanded use of nuclear power to generate energy?
Pam Saulsby joins us now live from Meredith College. And how's it looking out there, Pam?
It's looking busy. A lot of folks are showing up and setting up, Deborah. We're at the registration table at one of the tents there where folks are picking up their race packets, which includes a beautiful T-shirt like this one. 18 months ago, Haiti was rocked by a massive earthquake. Unfortunately, these images from right after the earthquake are what people remember. Some see the collapsed presidential palace and destruction and debris and say it's business as usual. We honor a remarkable woman who led such a remarkable life. Thank you for joining us. Decisions. 9-year-old Justin had a good deal of difficulty figuring out what to try out first at the North Carolina State Fair. Firefighters are trying to gain control of a fast-moving wildfire in Colorado. It's been burning for 3 days. This fire has scorched more than 50 homes. Thousands have left the area. And as Candace Gibson reports, now authorities are searching for at least 8 people who apparently did not leave their homes. I sat down with Katie Couric at CBS News headquarters in New York to talk about her new opportunity, connecting with the audience at 6:30 and establishing herself as an evening anchor.
Pam Saulsby made this flight. She joins us live from Washington with another moving story. Pam?
Oh, you said it, David. It has been an exhausting and exhilarating day for Triangle World War II veterans who made it here to the nation's capital today. For many of them, today is one of the best days of their lives. It's Race for the Cure time. Who's with me? We're with you. Come on. I run for. Hey. Y'all gonna come? How about you? Are you in? We're racing for the cure.
Next at noon, new information about Highway 12, so badly damaged by Hurricane Irene, it may be worse than it first appeared. And what about the future?
Flooded homes are sending lots of North Carolinians into shelters, but conditions there may not be much better.
And the long-term impact may be even worse for North Carolina farmers.
Live from Raleigh, WRAL News in high definition starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Leslie.
And I'm Pam Saulsby. Thank you so much for joining us.
We have so much to talk about regarding Hurricane Irene's aftermath.
We do, and we want to begin with some of the very latest information and developments. First of all, North Carolina Electric Utilities report progress on getting service restored after Hurricane Irene. About 300,000 customers remained without electricity early this morning, down from a high of more than 600,000.
We'll also be getting updated numbers in just a few minutes. In North Carolina, we have 6 confirmed deaths now from the storm, either directly or indirectly. And today, Governor Bev Perdue is touring more of the affected areas.
That's right. Today, Governor Perdue is on the ground. Her tour yesterday was by helicopter.
And the governor's first stop was at a hurricane shelter in Nash County. That's where we find WRAL's Sloan Heffernan with more on how the storm victims are hoping the governor can help them get back home soon. Sloan?
They certainly are, and we'll have much more on her stops coming up in the next half hour.
All right, Sloan Heffernan reporting live from Rocky Mount. Thanks for that new information, Sloan. There is another possible breach of Highway 12 on the Outer Banks.
And until we can find a better way to move people on and off, they are North Carolina citizens, they pay their taxes, and they have got to have a highway or a road or a bridge to travel on, the same as the rest of us.
It took several months to make repairs the last time the highway was breached by water.
You know, with the floodwaters starting to recede now and the skies are sunny, and I guess even with a sense of determination, people are starting to clean up now in Craven County. Brian Mims is there in Harlow to tell us what folks are doing today. Brian?
Pam, I'm standing along Adams Creek Road. The crews are working tirelessly day and night. to get the people back online. We've seen them right through this area. And the beaches, Pam, are open. They're on the Crystal Coast.
That is good news, but so many lives turned upside down. We're trying to reach that sense of normal. All right, Brian Mims in Craven County, thank you.
Well, Irene certainly walloped Wayne County with high winds and a lot of rain. And it's a scene of dangling wires this mine and toppled telephone poles. Amanda Lamb on the scene in Goldsboro to tell us what kind of damage they're dealing with this Monday.
So still a lot of cleanup to do here in Wayne County, Bill.
Gosh, what a great attitude. That is grace under pressure, no doubt. Amanda Lamb, thank you very much.
Folks are counting their blessings, and it's so good to see that kind of resilient spirit. Well, there's so much more to report about Hurricane Irene this hour.
Yeah, including what impact it's had up in New England. Stay with us for that.
As we mentioned, Greg Taylor is with us. Greg, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. You told me you woke up at 3 o'clock this morning. You woke up today in the Wake County Jail, being held there.
Yes, sir.
Here, just a matter of hours later, you are freed. Has the magnitude of this begun to sink in? And if it has, what is it like?
I'm still in shock. The magnitude is far from sinking in. You know, my mind for all these years has been concentrated on going through my daily routine and getting by in prison, and I've been totally lost. I didn't know how to flush a toilet a minute ago, so I've got a lot to learn.
Mr. Taylor, you have said in the past that you are not angry about the misfortune, but there are people who can look at your situation and wonder, how in the world can a man spend 17 years in prison and not come out bitter and angry over what happened when he's declared innocent?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, you know, sure, I was angry a lot at first and sporadically afterwards, but it's just not something you can sustain and develop anything positive from. My focus was on proving my innocence, and regardless of any negativity I think I felt as a result of my circumstances, I had to stay focused on what I could do to best show that I was innocent.
Every day in that courtroom, you were shackled. People may not have seen this. You could tell you had to shuffle in and out of that courtroom.
Those things hurt your feet too.
What was it like when the deputy or whomever did this unlocked the shackles on your legs?
Well, it was a confusing moment because nobody had really laid out, you know, exactly how it was going to transpire. So I was escorted into the custody room there next to the courtroom, and I was asked to turn around and kneel down. I was like, well, what in the world is going on here? You know, I know how to take off shackles, but I didn't know about this kneeling down. But this particular deputy, I guess he meant lift a foot up or something. But anyway, I found it hard to believe that it's going to be the last time that, you know, I'd ever have to go through that again.
You have a beautiful daughter,
Yes,
a son-in-law, a grandson, your dad, your brother. Talk to us about what you are looking forward to seeing and doing as you begin to live your life a free man.
Well, you know, you hope so much that this day has come, and maybe you just are afraid a little bit to put, you know, to put a lot of faith in the specifics. So mainly, you know, I'd been hoping just to, you know, to give this time to my family, you know, who'd stuck by me so much through these years, and realizing that this is their time too, and just to be there for them and what they felt like, you know, they wanted to do.
Greg, very quickly, were you prepared if the judge had said no?
I think mentally I was, because we had discussed it, and I don't know if there's a way to appease me, but they said that if this does not go our way, then absolutely I deserve a new trial. So I was basing my, you know, my fallback on that. But I think I would have been devastated, because you want to hear that word innocent, because that's what you are. And this was my really last chance at hearing that.
If the family of Jaquetta Thomas are watching this evening, what would you say to them?
Well, I talked to her sister at the law school. She was at all the hearings, and and I told her, and I told people there how highly I thought of her, to be able to, cast aside our bias, and believing that the police are always right, and I mean, she comes back from Germany, if I'm not mistaken, to bury her sister. And
she believes in you.
And believed in me from the beginning. Something did not make sense to her about this case. And all these years, she'd always felt that way. And I told her today that that I wish her luck in seeking justice for her sister, and I'll be there for her now.
I know we have to wrap up, but there are going to be some people who are cynics, who do believe the police are always right, that the prosecutor is always right. To those people, if you can't quickly, what do you say?
Nobody's perfect, and a system is made up of people. The system is bound to make mistakes, and we all just want to minimize those mistakes.
Greg Taylor, thank you so much for joining us in the studio, and enjoy your first night of freedom with your family.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
Thank you, sir.
Much more reaction to this case and details on the commission responsible for this decision ahead on our news at 6 and thoroughly on WRAL.com.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States. Every 2 minutes.
Incredible. 2 months ago, I picked up a video camera and started documenting the journey of 2 triangle women who were diagnosed with the disease this year. I wanted to hear it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They expressed themselves so fully and so honestly as a way of giving back to the community.
So that's what I look like normally.
I shot Ellen Baker and Janice Riley when they were strong and when they were vulnerable. Janice Riley is a competitive athlete.
I'm back.
Ellen Baker is a successful business owner. Clearly, 2 women who enjoy life.
Peach fuzz, that's what I need. Peach fuzz, here I come.
In January, Ellen was diagnosed with breast cancer. When she decided to get her hair cut off before it all fell out, the whole family accompanied her to the beauty salon.
It's gonna be wonderful. All right. Thanks.
Janice found out she had cancer in February. A marathon runner, she says she's trying to take this as she would a race, 1 mile at a time. The hair loss from chemo was especially hard for her, too.
And it's going to happen, but when you start seeing it come out in your hand, and it's very hard.
That's just one of the harsh realities I saw firsthand as these courageous women traveled through cancer treatment. Both Janice and Ellen readily embraced the idea of going public with their cancer, but for different reasons.
The whole key to this is catching it early. The earlier you catch it, the better off you are.
Can I touch the back?
Go ahead. Have fun.
For Ellen, it's a powerful opportunity to encourage women to play an active part in their own treatment.
And then we spent 4 solid weeks of investigating, talking to doctors, going to cancer centers, doing our own research, because this cancer business is not, you have a disease, here's the solution, go do it.
Those women are something else, Deborah, and both of them say it's so important for women to really know their own bodies, and they wanted to share their journey so publicly and so candidly because they hope maybe, just maybe, they can help another woman save a life. And we're going to hear their individual stories starting next Tuesday in the 5:30 news.
Boy, they are so strong. What about their families?
Courageous.
How are their families doing?
You know, it lands on their families in different ways. Both women are married, and their husbands are just rocks, rocks of support. Janice has like little kids, and she says when her hair started to fall out that they made it a family affair, and they started like trading the scissors and making like funny haircuts all over her head, and then her husband finally shaved it off. Her husband's an oncologist, and for Ellen, her girls are teenagers, so they've gone through all of this with her, and we'll have more next Tuesday.
Oh, what special women.
Absolutely.
All right. Great, can't wait for next Tuesday.
Okay. About 18,000 people tried to get motivated today in Raleigh. Big names such as General Colin Powell, Rudy Giuliani, and Zig Ziglar headlined the Get Motivated Business Seminar at the RBC Center. Right now, the event just ended a few minutes ago. You're looking live at images from Sky 5 of the RBC Center. The drive home expected to possibly take a little longer, but as we zoom in, we can see folks leaving the parking lot and not that many vehicles left in the parking spaces. A lot of people with Twitter accounts have been tweeting kudos to RBC, the DOT, and Raleigh Police and other law enforcement agencies for keeping delays to a minimum. Many people who attended today's seminar say they needed some inspiration now more than ever, and they got some good lessons about staying positive too and showing more leadership. It's a message that definitely helps given this tough economy.
With no violations and turns 18, they can get their license.
All right.
You get all that?
I tried to, David. I think I got it all. It is weather time now. Greg, and do you think these changes we're going to feel, would you call them dramatic?
Oh, absolutely.
Woohoo.
Absolutely, yes. I may even stay up late, Thursday night just so I can face toward the northeast and feel the wind shift and,
Really?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Really?
Exactly.
You'll go outside and do that, will you?
I've done dumber things. And you know that.
I think you need to move on.
Really? All right, well, let's move on here, shall we? Let's go on ahead and take a look at the Skycam. Beautiful day out there.
The State Fair is going green again this year. So make sure you do your part to protect the earth while still having fun and eating all that fried food. Brian Shrader joins us live at the fair this midday in Raleigh with details. Brian.
Beautiful day out here, Pam. Absolutely gorgeous, a little warm, so if you're coming this afternoon, you want to think about the t-shirt and the shorts. But you know what? A big thing that people are talking about here is the new law that went into effect a few weeks ago, banning plastic bottles like these from landfills. And with that in mind, we have the 2nd Marine Division Party Band here. What is a party band?
You're about to find out.
I'm ready. This is going to be exciting. Entertain us now.
Very well.
All right. The 2nd Marine Division Band from Camp Lejeune, that's pretty good stuff. They're going to take the stage at 12:15. We'll be back at about 12:30 to sample the winners of the North Carolina Pork Council Pork Recipe Contest. Be there. Back to you.
Yeah,
All right.
we were getting into it, weren't we?
Yes, we were. Did you know we were going to be on camera there, Brian?
I was expecting a Star-Spangled Banner or America
something
the Beautiful.
patriotic, I know. That took us by surprise. Well done, Marine Corps. Well, don't forget while you're at the fair, make sure to stop by the WRL tent next to Dorton Arena. Today, meteorologist Mike Moss will be there for the lunch rush. Brian Shrader will greet guests between 1 and 3 this afternoon. Our news hound Tracker will give photographs to visitors from 3 to 5, and Deborah Morgan will be in the tent tonight between 7 and 9.
Right now on WREL, 3 cases are keeping one local police department very busy this afternoon. Why they need the public's help in solving crimes.
Booze it and lose it. The annual campaign that could land you behind bars if you're not responsible behind the wheel.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Leslie.
And I'm Pam Saulsby. Thank you so much for joining us. Police in Durham are working not 1 but 3 different cases right now. First, they're looking for the person who killed a 28-year-old woman. Now, this woman was shot on Spruce Street yesterday afternoon. She was transferred to Duke Hospital where she later died. Police have not released her name.
Also in Durham, police are searching for 4 robbers who terrorized a family. Durham police so far have made no arrests in the case.
Your help is also needed to try and find the person or the people responsible for exposing themselves 4 different times in public. The incidents happened all along the American Tobacco Trail in Durham between last Sunday and yesterday. Most of the victims say they were jogging on the trail when a man approached them and exposed himself. He was described as a white man about 6 feet tall, wearing a tight-fitting scarf or hat. If you know anything about this, contact police.
The teenager who was shot at her high school 1 week ago remains in critical condition this afternoon. 2 other teens face charges in the shooting.
The owner of a local restaurant is trying to pick up the pieces after a fire destroyed his business. Brian Shrader is live in Sharpsburg in Nash County, where it took dozens of men to completely put it out. Brian.
Yeah, Pam, we're off Highway 301 here in Sharpsburg at the Sharpsburg restaurant, and from the outside it doesn't look that bad. They're not sure what started this fire. Some of the preliminary fire investigation indicates that it might have started outside. So for that reason, the SBI has been called in, and it may be a while before they know exactly what started this fire last night. Coming up tonight at 5:30, we'll hear more from the community about what the Sharpsburg restaurant meant to this little town in Nash County. Back to you.
It seems like it meant a lot, Brian, and a lot of people hoping they'll rebuild. Brian Shrader live in Sharpsburg this afternoon. Thank you. Federal lawyers do not want to delay in the hearing in the case of the Army doctor convicted of killing his family at Fort Bragg more than 40 years ago. Attorneys for Jeffrey McDonnell asked to delay his November 28th hearing until at least February. They say he deserves a new trial because of unidentified DNA recovered from the scene. Lawyers for the former aide to John Edwards and Edwards' mistress, Rielle Hunter, are headed back to court today. It's over a reported sex tape involving the former presidential hopeful and Hunter. Bruce Mildorf is live in Chatham County this afternoon, where the hearing is set to happen. Bruce?
Yeah, Pam, this is a status update, a housekeeping matter involving an upcoming hearing to determine whether Andrew Young, his wife, and their lawyers are in contempt of court. Now, the Youngs nor Rielle Hunter are expected to appear for today's hearing. Back to you, Pam.
Thanks for that update, Bruce Mildorf. A new poll has Herman Cain leading the Republican pack in Iowa, due in part to his unconventional campaign and his 999 tax plan.
Now, today he's up in Washington, D.C., pushing that plan and responding to some allegations against him. Tara Merchant reports from the White House.
Man, oh man, old man winter reared its head with a surprise snowstorm in the Northeast. Next at noon, wow, the slow cleanup efforts ahead for millions of folks.
The world hit a pretty big milestone today. The birthday present one newborn received for being among 7 billion people on Earth. Plus,
next at 12:30, you may know about the movies, but did you know there's a Karate Kid from our area? He visits our studio to show us how he's preparing for an upcoming international competition. Elizabeth.
Well, there was a little bit of sunshine this morning, but take a look at this sky cam shot. It's getting grayer and grayer. A little bit of rain down south, too. Is that going to rain out your trick-or-treat plans? We'll talk about it when we come back.
A young man in our community is making some big moves. He's our next guest, Christian Buffalo. Just 11 years old, but he's got some serious moves and some serious news. In fact, he is headed to Japan to represent the U.S. and compete in one of the world's biggest martial arts competitions. Christian and his dad, Kenny, join us now to tell us all about it. It's so exciting. Thanks for being with us today. Ken, let me talk to you first about the nature of this competition and how Christian qualified.
Yes, this tournament is one of the only tournaments in the world that's full contact for youth competitors. It's not on the point system rules that a lot of styles use. You really have to win your match by either knockout, a knockdown, or clearly show domination in the match. So he trained very hard and qualified to fight in this tournament by winning a qualifying tournament in Little Tokyo in January of this year.
You must be so proud of your son, 11 years old.
Very, very, very proud because he worked so hard and no excuses and trained hard and really worked his way up to world level.
Christian, what did you have to do exactly?
The training, first you have to train really hard, and we went to a tournament in LA, and I trained really hard for that tournament, and I was able enough from his training and
from your dad's training.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you like this so much to the point where, I mean, you just excel and excel, you get better and better? What do you like so much about martial arts?
I really like, especially this form of martial art that we're doing, because it really makes me feel better about everything that I do, and I feel better as a person, and it gives you a lot of benefits to life and your health.
Well, yes, and I can imagine how you physically prepare for something like this, but how do you mentally prepare for it? What do you do? Do you meditate? Do you listen to music? What do you do when you're preparing, like, mentally to get ready?
Well, the training itself, it kind of covers everything physically and mentally, because the kind of training that they put you through, it really pushes you beyond your limit.
And he will be competing with boys in his age group, the same age as he is, or will they be older, some younger?
Rank and weight is not a factor, but age is. So yes, he will be fighting other 11-year-olds.
Do you know, is this the first time you have ever been this far from North Carolina in a competition like this? You've traveled all over.
Yes, we have, and we're really, really excited this time because he's getting a shot at the World Youth title. And we just wish him the best. He trained really hard, and he has a lot of experience from fighting in New York and Los Angeles. So we feel very confident he will make a great showing of himself.
What is it like having your dad as a trainer? I mean, like, he never goes easy on you, does he?
Yes, ma'am. It's hard sometimes, but we have to distinguish between the father-son and teacher-student relationship, and sometimes it kind of slips through.
I can imagine. Do you ever do any teaching yourself? You've been involved for so long. I mean, do you ever teach, like, even younger kids?
Sometimes during class, he might give me the responsibility to help the class.
Are you ready? You are ready. All right, well, we wish you the best of luck. We're going to be following you guys, and congratulations. Congratulations,
Thank you so
father
much.
and son.
Us.
Us. Isn't he remarkable? The World Karate Full Contact Youth Championship starts this Thursday in Tokyo, Japan. Christian and his dad leave tomorrow, and like I said, we wish them both the best of luck. We'll be checking them out.
I want him on my team.
All right.
Yeah. Coming up, the local fair that's giving you a chance to go to a craft shopping spree right before the holidays.